Hey everyone, just quick announcement before I share today's episode with Sydney Cummings. Sydney is doing some amazing work and I'm excited for her to get to share her story. But just want to take a minute to share the release of my first children's book of my Healthy Children's Book series called Maddux's Trip to the Chiropractor. It's a cute book with bright pictures that follows a toddler on her trip to the chiropractor. It shows her excitement and how she knows it impacts her health in a positive way. And each purchase of this book will be supporting a project that I started called the Unlock Wellness Project. For each purchase of the book, we will be donating a wellness bag to a child in need. These wellness bags will include non-toxic, chemical-free essentials such as soap, shampoo, toothpaste, a toothbrush, items that a lot of the time children in tough situations don't have access to. We're also going to be shipping wellness bags to flood victims in Houston, Texas, and reaching out to victims of Hurricane Irma and Hurricane Maria as well. You can learn more about the book and about the Unlock Wellness Project by going to drkaseyjohnson.com. It's DRKASEY Johnson.com. Click on the Shop tab, then click on the Children's Book option. You'll be able to read a short description and even watch a short video with more information. You can also purchase the book directly on Amazon.com by searching Maddux's Trip to the Chiropractor. But I hope you guys love the book. Be sure to check out my website to learn more, and thank you so much for the support. Now it's time for today's episode. I hope you loved my conversation with Sydney Cummings. Welcome to the Unlock Wellness Podcast of Dr. Casey, and I'm excited for today's guest. I'm here with Sydney Cummings, and I was connected to Sydney through a mutual friend, Mickey Polly. So I'm just excited just to jump in today with the conversation. She has a fitness company called Royal Change. She's a fitness expert, and she just recently linked up with Women's Health Magazine, which is extremely exciting. But yeah, so Sydney, thank you so much for coming on. I'm excited to have you.
Hey, thank you for having me. I'm so pumped.
Yeah, so let's just jump into your backstory. Talk about just, when you were younger and like what really just led you to really love fitness and the journey and path you're on right now.
Okay, so as far as I can remember, my whole life, I've been an athlete. My parents put me in sports. I don't even know. Middle school, I think, was the first time I remember being involved in like volleyball and soccer and track and basketball. And I guess I played, little league basketball. As I got to high school, I kind of weeded a couple of those out and went for volleyball, basketball, and track. It ended up being that track was more so my specialty or the one that I excelled at the most. And in particular, it was high jumping. And I did summer track all through summer and AAU track and USA track and field. And so I was always in track meets, indoor and outdoor season. And it actually earned me a scholarship to West Virginia University. So I was on a full ride there for just high jumping and had a great experience there, which we just found out we are mutually mountaineers.
Yeah.
So that was the best 4 years of my life was college and college athletics, and was a huge blessing. It paid for my school and allowed me to, live and practice and travel with my teammates, and just something I never would have experienced had it not been for sports and athletics. Mm-hmm. And so after college, I realized that I had been getting guidance my whole life with coaching, strength and conditioning, mentors, nutrition coaches. And after I got out of college, it was just like, poof, here you go, figure it out on your own. And I figured I wasn't the only one in that situation. I had graduated college with help for my whole life by coaches. Some people didn't even experience that, but nonetheless, people are just kind of looking for a way to experience what I experienced my whole life. And so I went back to nursing school and thought that was like the traditional right thing to do. And I wanted to be a nurse anesthetist. And I got into my first year of nursing school. And after the first year, I was like,
this wasn't for you.
This is not it for me.
Right. But it's cool though, because you knew that you wanted to help people. You just kind of had to work through the steps to figure out the best way that you wanted to do that.
Exactly. I knew, and my mom and my grandmas and I think my whole family of females, they're just natural helpers. They're genuine helpers. And so it came naturally to me to want to help people. And I just kind of had to figure out what made me happy in that pursuit and what avenue I could specialize in the best, to helping people maybe before they got to the nurses in the hospital and try to keep them healthy before they got to the hospital. So I actually took a summer job here in Charlotte with Fitness Connection as a personal trainer, and got my certification through NASM, National Academy of Sports Medicine, for personal training, and realized this is the avenue that I can kind of express my passion for athletics and sports and just keeping myself healthy, and then also using the experience that I had in college athletics to help other people stay healthy, get healthy, figure out their regimen for fitness, and just utilize what I had in my heart that was driving me instead of nursing school.
Right. How'd you pick Charlotte? Was it just the job opening, or did you have family there, or like what led you there?
No, I didn't know anyone when I moved here. My fiance Dustin and we knew that the opportunities in West Virginia for us were only, to a certain potential. And so we started looking, and I have always liked Charlotte. We came here a couple times, just like weekend trips, and
there's a lot going on. There's sports teams, like
so much.
Right.
Yeah, the Hornets, the Panthers, and they had like Taste of Charlotte. They have street festivals all the time. And so we came down a couple times and just visited and checked it out, and not knowing that it would end up being, the city that we call home now. But he is a CPA. So with it being such a big financial city, he was easily able to get a job like that. And so he got a job first, and I came down kind of testing the waters, thinking I was going to stay in nursing school and just work here for the summer as a trainer, and then go back. And when I came down, I figured out that I came here for a reason.
Right.
Because I started out making no money, but I was so happy doing what I was doing.
Yeah. And I think that's the key to it. It's just like, if it's what you love, like you don't care working 24/7, but if it's a job, you're like, the 9 to 5 is like a killer. Right. So it's cool when you're like following your passion and doing, like, cause you can tell like things start to fall in place. Like, you're happy. You don't care staying up to 2 a.m. Like, it's just, it's amazing.
Right. Yeah. And it was a struggle in the beginning for sure. Like you were saying, you are happy and you go to work every day, and I would come home like, yeah, this was such a good day. I met this woman, and she's just now figuring out that she feels better when she exercises.
That's cool.
Or anything generic like that. And then I would get my paycheck. And I remember my first paycheck for 2 weeks was $200. I was like, what did I just do? I'm messing up here. Oh my God, I should have stayed in nursing school. Maybe I can still go back. I don't know. It was, building, I'm sure you understand too, building a client base takes a while. Sure. And getting known in a city where zero people takes a while.
So you have to just build a reputation and the trust, and just like take the time to like go building to building, office to office, and be like, hey, this is here. I'm here. Like, this is what I'm doing, here to help.
Exactly.
And it's a lot. Yeah.
And I tried to like exhaust every avenue. Like I trained people in their homes. I trained people at 2 different Fitness Connection locations. I did online training. I did a group fitness gym. It was just making sure that every hour in my day I was attempting to help someone and make it genuine. And, I figured the more people I get in front of, the more people I can help, and the more people will spread the word and, tell them about me, because no one knows me here. So.
Right. So is that what kind of led you to like decide that you're going to start your own brand, your own platform, really dive into like the online stuff? Is that like when that started really to take place?
Yeah. Ironically enough, the more avenues I jumped into, the more I realized I needed to not jump into so many avenues.
Right.
I tried, it was at first financial reasons, obviously, just trying to make it in a new city. But when money started coming in from like 6 different locations, and some of it was in home and some of it was from the internet, and I needed to create a business where, honestly, for tax purposes, it made sense to have so many avenues of revenue. And then as I started to grow in each individual location, I was able to kind of eliminate a couple at a time, and kind of focus in on what I wanted to be as a person and as a business owner instead of as an employee, because I know I didn't want to work for, commercial gyms for the rest of my life.
Right. And it was funny. I was just talking to somebody yesterday that he's a trainer as well, and he kind of is doing it on his own. And he was just like, he was going into the differences if you are doing it on your own as a kind of like freelance, or as opposed to being in one of these chains, because he was like, it's crazy because in some ways people will look down to that, but really it's like we're more experienced in the most cases than a lot of the gyms that kind of hire in, because it's kind of cookie cutter whenever you're like just set in a gym. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And they give you, I learned from my first job, they give you kind of like a program that you pretty much plug people's names into. And that's the way that you go for that gym. And, sometimes trainers at gyms aren't even certified in anything. So take me, for instance, I came down here and basically just used my athletic experience and my background to kind of get in the door. And then I got my certification after that. But, not everyone in the gyms is also, extremely knowledgeable for how to conduct someone's body transformation.
Right. Because everybody's so different. Like, it's really hard to tell. So,
And, athletics is great, but not everyone's athletic. So that doesn't help everyone. And so, being your own business owner, I think it's more valuable to say, like, I operate my business this way because I know from research and from my education and from my experience combined that this is going to be best for your body. And that's also different for, Rebecca over here.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Or 80-year-old Carol to the right.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So everybody's
just
different.
Getting out of surgery, or someone who's just finishing their college career. It's totally different.
Right. No, that's true. So what was the first thing that you started to do? Was it the videos, or were you putting just like online training, or like what was your first step into that world?
I think it was a very gradual step, and I kind of just grew into my own business. So kind of like when I moved here, I just kind of like, it's been a very gradual growth. And I ended up right before I jumped into just solely having my own business. I worked at a group fitness gym, which was great. It had, cycling and boot camps and cross training and yoga. And so I was exposed to a ton of people. And after I left there, I knew that I wanted to just have my own business. And so I kind of went the avenue that I started with reaching out to people to have my own clients, and then also offering online training. And then I had just finished up a fitness DVD as well with 12 workouts. So I really, really liked what I did with the fitness DVD. So I started, kind of making little Instagram videos here and there. Like, here's a short circuit to do on a Saturday, or, here's a quick tip to eat banana after your workout to reestablish your glucose. And it was simple things like that. And people started to really appreciate. And so I kind of provided more and more, and I got a lot more feedback and realized how important digital content is now. And people, we're always on our phones. I'm sure like you have your phone right beside you right now. We all do. So that's where people are. And I started to realize how important that was, and started to make sure, my content is high quality. My fiance, Dustin, is amazing at photography and videography. So that's been great for me to kind of grow my Instagram and my Facebook, and then having high quality videos as well. I think people appreciate that you put the work into it. So it's just kind of been, I would say, like, keeping my content and my profession high quality, and then networking in the community has kind of helped me grow a lot.
That's cool. Did you notice, because what year was it that you really started diving into like the online stuff?
I started my personal training here. It was probably like 2015 and 16 is when I started to kind of go digital, which, that's always a growth process. But
because you've had a pretty large growth. I mean, like you're following on like Instagram. I mean, that's an amazing number. Like, and it continues to grow, right?
Yeah, it's very genuine. I'll never buy followers or anything like that. I think it doesn't help if people just followers. It's been very, very organic is the word I'm looking for.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, that's the best way. Cause I mean, obviously it's useless if you have 10, 15,000 followers, but they're all robots. I mean, like there's no engagement. So
exactly.
So that's cool. Did you notice that it was pretty stable, or did you have a big jump and then it kind of, when did you start to notice like, hey, I'm starting to really grow this thing?
I started to, weirdly enough, I had my Instagram name as Royal Change for a long time. And I had this vision early on that I would have, a bunch of trainers working for me one day. And so I didn't want to call it Sydney Cummings. And I didn't necessarily want, the glorification of being like, this is Sydney Cummings training or anything like that. But I did notice a big jump when my fiance filmed for Nike in New York a couple months ago, and he kind of showed them some of the videos that we've been doing. Mm-hmm. And they were like, what is Royal Change? What do you mean by that? Like, who's this girl? He was like, well, that's Sydney. She owns Royal Change. And they told him, it needs to be Sydney on that account. If it's just her, it needs to be Sydney. So we changed the name to just Sydney Cummings, and people started to engage and follow and interact so much more when it was me as a person instead of me as a business. And we've always maintained the idea that our content needs to be high quality, and that I always will engage with everyone, as much as I can. But it was when people kind of were able to identify me as a person and see my personality and see it wasn't just a Royal Change business, it was me, interacting with them. That's kind of where we experienced the growth. And then the women's health thing has helped a lot with, I guess people feel that I am validated or something, just having these exciting things happen. And so that helped our growth a lot as well.
That's cool. Yeah, no, I mean, that's a really good point, because I mean, you think like if you, let's say you have a few people that added you on Instagram today, like if it's a person, you're more likely to check them out. But if it's a business, you don't know if it's just, they're just going through click, add. So it's true. Like, I mean, I know for myself, I'm going to check it out if it's an actual person as opposed to a business. Yeah.
Yeah, same here. If like Kroger's followed me, I'd be like, that's random. But, if
love you, Kroger's, but
yeah, love you, mean it. But outside of that, I'm not going to feel like I need to engage with Kroger's because why,
But unless you had a bad experience. Yeah.
Unless I had like a really bad produce shopping trip.
It happens.
But yeah. But
that's funny.
It helped a lot just being able to talk to people as Sydney instead of just Royal Change.
Yeah. So, that's true. That's cool. Yeah. And with the women's health thing, which is awesome, like how did that all fall into place for you?
That happened probably, I think it was the beginning of June. And I don't even remember when it was. It was really early this year. I was looking on the women's health website, just kind of researching what their trends were and where they're going with their content, and just seeing what was popular in our industry right now. And I saw an essay portion for a women's health action hero, and I kind of looked into seeing what that was, and did a quick essay. Didn't think much of it. Thought,
it's there. Yeah,
it couldn't hurt. So I did the essay. And then I really can't remember which month it was, but it was several months before they contacted me, and they're like, hey, Sydney, we read your essay and we think that you would be a great fit for an action hero position. And it was ironically on a day where I was having a bad day and kind of needed that little boost. Just one of those days where everything's going wrong and you just plan it out this way and it happens this way.
Right.
So I got an email and I was like, Dustin, I think this is something really good. Like, I don't think it's spam. And so they contacted me, filled out all the information, and it's been going great from there.
That's awesome. Well, do you remember what the essay was about?
It was just kind of like a tell me about yourself essay. Why would you be a good contribution to Women's Health magazine, or, basically kind of like what we're doing right now. Like, tell me about yourself and why would you be great to help us out? So
that's cool.
I don't remember what I said. I wish I could have seen it, but
yeah. How have they been working with them? I'm sure amazing.
They've been great. Yeah, it's so much fun. They have our main kind of tie-in with the magazine is their big charity run that they do every year. They have 3 big flagship runs, and we kind of are in partnership with them promoting that. The 3 main ones are in New York, in Chicago, and in California. And so they kind of ask us if we can make it to those, kind of check them out. If not, just tell people about them. And it's basically our social media influence that they're looking for. So whenever I started working, I kind of read the fine details on these runs, and it said, if you are a women's health action hero, you have the opportunity to host one of these yourself in your hometown if you're not in New York or Chicago or San Francisco. So I was like, the people in Chicago or in Charlotte love giving back and they love fitness. And if you can combine those two, I think I could do something really great here.
Right.
So my fiance and I went to the one in New York City 3 weekends ago, just kind of check it out and see what it was all about. And then we decided to host our own here in Charlotte. And for every person that registers for their charity, it's called Run 10, Feed 10. They donate 10 meals to the hungry in that community. So
that's awesome.
I know fitness and giving back in Charlotte is huge. So I thought, why don't we put Charlotte on the map and get one of these races here? I'm working with a lot of companies, a lot of vendors were able to come out, and we got almost 100 people to give back
awesome.
and register for the race. And then we also got a supplement company that I work with called Eat the Bear. They agreed to match everyone's donations. So
that's great. 2,000
meals back to Charlotte from just this women's health opportunity.
That's awesome. When was the race?
It was September 23rd. So
that's cool.
This past Saturday.
That's amazing. So that's awesome. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot of meals. And that's awesome that they matched you. That's incredible.
Yeah, it was a lot. And it was, we didn't have a lot of time to do it. And it was what someone said, it feels like a wedding. Like it's crazy, crazy.
and then there's like, you forget stuff because there's so much going on.
Yes. Yeah. Right. And it was just me and Dustin and my parents like trying to run a 5K.
Right.
I'm trying to like warm everyone up with a workout, and he's trying to take pictures and do the music, and my parents are trying to get the water coolers out. So it's like crazy. And then the magic happens and everyone's together and having a great time and experience the vendors, and then it's over and you're just standing there like, oh, that was it.
Time to clean up.
Yeah, I would clean up, and 2 weeks of craziness is over.
That's awesome, though. That's amazing. I'm glad that you're having that opportunity to be able to make that large of an impact, because I mean that's huge and it's incredible, especially this close to the holidays too. That I'm sure that's like that means a lot.
Right.
Sure. Yeah.
It's really important to me to. I've kind of been brought up that way, just to give back if you can. There are people everywhere, not in just New York or Chicago or San Francisco, that are not sure where their next meal is coming from. And I know living in Charlotte for the past 3 years that people here are good and they like to give back. And so I knew that we could do something really great. And I was finally blessed with the opportunity with women's health. And, moving here 3 years ago, I never would have thought that would happen. I would have run and have women's health on my team. And so it was awesome. And I can't wait to do it again next year. I learned a lot about it, just about what it takes to put on a race and things that I would like to do differently. And so it was great for learning and great for the community as well.
That's amazing. So what's going to be going on in the future? Like future plans you have going on, or just continuing to put out just amazing content?
Yeah, well, that's definitely a goal. Always keep the content consistent and high quality and engaging with everyone as much as possible. I'm actually launching a 30-day transformation program in probably the next month. Started doing that, and then the Women's Health Run kind of took over. So back to that, but we are launching a 30-day program, and it's going to be fitness and nutrition, and then kind of a community network as well, which I think everyone likes to feel like they're a part of something. So it's going to be, I have 6 workout videos, like full-length videos where you'll work out with me. You can do them at home or at the gym. And then I have a gym workout option, an exercise video index, nutrition recipes, and macronutrient calculators. And so it's going to be very comprehensive and like the whole package. And we have a community engagement wall, like a Facebook wall on my website, so people will be able to check in and be like, oh my gosh, my glutes are rocked from day 4 or whatever.
I can't sit down.
Yeah, I cannot walk down the stairs.
Right. That's incredible, though. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that. And it's something else that I know, I'm working with Women's Health now, so I know it's going to be something that they will see. And so I'm trying to make it, the best that I can. And that, of course, I always find something I can make this a little better, this a little better. But
the exposure that you're going to get for it. So it's like, it has to be like on point. So that's amazing.
Yeah. It can't be just like slopped together.
Right.
I don't want to
just no Snapchat video only. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
No iPhone like squat video.
Right. That's awesome. Well, I'm excited to check it out. And like, what's the best way for people to follow you on social media? That way they can keep up whenever it does come out, and then just keep up with everything you're up to.
Yeah. So on social media, my Instagram is at Sydney Cummings _.
Okay.
And then the website that I have my programs on, I have race pictures. I have, all of my programs and personal training is royalchange.fit. And then Facebook and Twitter, same thing, Sydney Cummings.
Cool. Well, I'll put all of those in the show notes. That way people can just click and go check you out. But
Awesome.
Sydney, closing question that I ask every guest.
Ooh.
But if you just had one piece of advice to give the audience, maybe it's something that's helped you along your own personal wellness journey, or just anything really. But if you just had one piece of advice to give, what would it be?
Oh, that's a good one.
Pressure's on.
I know, right? Gotta make this good. One piece of advice I would give everyone to keep their consistent fitness journey is figure out why you're doing it in the first place. I think sometimes it can be easily misconstrued on social media and in just the media in general that it's for a very aesthetic reason, or it's, for to be the better version of this person, or to be the better version of this person, or get my butt to look like this girl's, or my bicep to look like that guy's. Mm-hmm. I think just figure out why you're even trying to get healthy and keep reminding yourself of that. It'll show up in your mind. Consistency is obviously key. So I think really getting a deep centered why and then executing your plan is going to be the most beneficial.
Yeah, no, I love that. That's amazing. And Sydney, thank you so much for taking time to come on. I really appreciate you making the time. And I'm excited just to watch your journey because I know you're just going to continue to do amazing things. So
thank you. I can't wait.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in to today's episode. I hope you loved my conversation with Sydney. She's doing such positive work, and I'm just excited for you guys to follow her on social media to keep up with everything that she's doing. You can find the social media links that we talked about in the episode in the show notes, but you can also find them on my website as well at drkaseyjohnson.com. That's DRKASEY Johnson.com. Click on the Listen tab. Then from there, you'll be able to see all of the past guests that have come on the Unlock Wellness podcast, read a little bit more about each guest, and be able to click on their social media links, their websites, all of that. So all of Sydney's information can be found on my site as well. If you guys loved today's episode with Sydney, be sure to jump onto iTunes, subscribe, and write a review. It really helps me out a lot, and I appreciate all of the feedback and support. And like I spoke about in the intro, also be sure to check out my first children's book of my Healthy Children's Book series called Maddux's Trip to the Chiropractor. Each purchase of the book supports the Unlock Wellness Project, which supplies a wellness bag to a child in need for each book purchased. You can learn more about the book and about the Unlock Wellness Project on my website as well at drkaseyjohnson.com. Click on the Shop tab, then choose the children's book option. You'll be able to read a short description and even watch a short video to learn more. If you do purchase the book, be sure to share it on social media using the hashtag UWProject. I'll repost it and give you a shout out on the podcast. But I hope you guys loved the book. Thank you so much for the support, and I hope you loved today's episode. Thank you so much for tuning in.